I made a documentary about rock legend and Irish citizen Tony Sheridan for the RTE documentary on One Slot. A Dubliner heard the documentary and, through RTE, contacted me, Jimmy Doyle, the drummer who had backed Tony not only in Hamburg, but also for almost 2 years entertaining the troops in Vietnam. He hadn't seen Tony in nearly 2 decades and wanted to renew contact. I acted as intermediary, and numbers were exchanged between Tony and Jimmy. Next thing I heard, Jimmy had set a date to return to Hamburg and meet Tony Sheridan again. I just had to be there. Date, time and place were agreed. August 31st, 2010, 5 p.m. under the departure sign at Altona train station, Hamburg. Next stop after that would be a small Hamburg beer garden.
Excuse me, Martin Duffy. How you doing?
Hey Jimmy, hi, how's it going?
How you son?
This is my son Bernard.
Bernard, how you Bernard?
Jimmy, hi.
Catherine.
Catherine.
Catherine, oh, we
have
talked.
been talking on the phone, right?
Yeah, my son Bernard.
Hi, Bernard.
Has His Lordship arrived?
His Lordship should be arriving here within the next couple of minutes, if all goes to plan.
Oh, there's the queer fella. How are you, young fella? Oh, way.
What's that? Jimmy, hello.
How are you keeping?
My wife, the wife.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
And your name?
Anna.
Anna.
Right.
Right. So, how's it going?
Everything's fine, Joe. I'm just happy to see you.
I want to see yourself.
Yes. I'm a bit flabbergasted, you know.
Here's the words, young flip.
You're number 10,000.
You number one.
If you were okay, you were sort of, you were number one. If you had a bit of bother with the chick, or you weren't giving her enough money or tips or something, you number 10,000, which is really bad. You know.
Cheap chatty.
You number 10. It's also pretty bad, but number 10,000, that's the pits. Do you remember the beer?
Bammy Bar. Bammy Bar.
Yeah, yeah.
3-3.
But I think we used to say Bombly Ball or something, you know, just to,
Maybe you did
Whatever
because
it
you
was.
were really stupid.
Oh, thank you, Jim.
I mean, I was the intelligent one.
The brains of the group.
Oh my God.
Do you remember the one when we were gassed?
Remind me, I forget lots of things.
Company B put this into the club when we were playing because Company A got the show and they didn't. That was it.
Right,
Now,
right.
It had nothing to do with the war. This just, it was awful. It was the Special Forces as well.
Yeah, oh, they were.
Special Forces place. It wasn't them who did it because
No.
Special Forces. Do you remember the Special Forces guys were always straight and they were always
I'm
sort
going to
of-
the toilet behind the palm tree, right? We're not working for the Special Forces. We were invited from Da Nang. Near Da Nang, they had a place. So I'm behind the palm tree. I see Tony come out, and they have all these captured weapons on the wall, an AK-47. So Tony has a pillow. He's out of it. There's a pillow. I remember there was a big guy, commander, you know, and he comes up and I'm watching this behind the thing, and I said, "Hey, Tony, what's behind the pillow?" "Nothing." The AK-47.
No, it wasn't an AK-47. It was a lot more than that. It was
Weapon?
you know, the Special Forces got special weapons. They got newfangled Swedish, you know, whatever. The Swedish made a very good thing. Of course, I was going to borrow that.
Yeah.
As we now know, madness reigned in Vietnam. Jimmy, Tony and their German bass player were performing for the troops and sharing the lives of the men they were there to entertain. They were out of the frying pan into the fire, from the mean streets of Hamburg's Reeperbahn area to the jungles of Vietnam.
There were lots of things going on that we didn't know about. The drug scene,
We knew nothing.
the medics who were handing out drugs, you know, the heroin thing was flourishing.
Was it
From the state,
when we
yes,
were there?
yes. Oh,
We-
yes.
well, we didn't.
The medics were sort of, well, you know, the part of the pilots and people like that were taking amphetamines anyway, right?
Well, I would get them off them. Did you ever get them the 6-pack? We used to call it a 6-pack. They have the flying suit, and they would have 6 in their pack. So this is just to keep you alert, but they never used them. So you could go over to one and say, do you have anything in your six-pack? So you would get amphetamines from the flyers. This would be the jet guys.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
they will be hitting the north.
Well, the whole of Vietnam was pretty high, actually.
Yeah. And opium.
Do you remember what the guys? Well, you remember the cigarettes you could buy on the street?
Yeah.
You could buy a packet of Marlboro,
That's right.
which looked perfect. Nothing,
Dope.
pristine packet of Marlboro, like for 20 cents or something. And you'd open it and you'd take out a cigarette, and it would look completely normal, except in the cigarette it would be opium. And the VC, the so-called enemy, they weren't out to get you high, but they were out to get you hooked.
Yeah.
Opium, you get hooked on that. So there was shit as well. Marijuana, everything was over there. But the main thing was to get the enemy weakened, wasn't it? Do you remember that? This is their attitude: to wound, not kill.
If we had have read anything that I have read since about the Viet Cong and all that stuff, we wouldn't have gone to Vietnam.
Okay.
We wouldn't have gone because we didn't. We thought a little country, big America, we're going to be safe. You know, we didn't think it was going to be like that. But for instance, if we were a place like Cu Benoit, they had tunnels underneath these places.
Systems, yeah.
We're drinking up there, they're down underneath us, and we didn't know
Yeah.
that. Should I have freaked out?
Yeah. Yes, of course. And the Melody Maker or something, one of those things.
I remember I read it
It
somewhere.
was rumoured that
Yeah.
Tony Sheridan has been Tet Offensive, missing, presumed gone.
Stuff couldn't get through at that offensive.
Yeah, there was no
So they
information.
thought
coming
I
through,
was
really,
missing,
that's
so it
right,
was in
yeah,
the paper I was missing, etc. And when I went home, they were more upset.
Yeah, that was an even greater shock. Yeah. In
No,
a way,
not him.
I think in a way they wished we'd gone. Then there would have been
Yeah.
less shock.
Yeah. So they had to readjust,
Yes, indeed.
back
Yes,
again.
yes,
No.
yes.
Talking of readjusting, Tony and Jimmy, going their separate ways after their Vietnam days, both fell into the grips of post-traumatic stress disorder. Tony suffered nightmares and panic attacks, and, though he was just turning 30, his hair started going white. Back in Dublin, meanwhile, Jimmy was suffering from bouts of depression and rage. He carried a Derringer gun, and one drunken escapade had a drastic outcome.
So there was a few snaps. Like there was one time I held up the shop, and myself and another guy, and I was just doing it for a joke, but I had a gun. So I took off my watch and said, how much is that watch worth? So they thought that was very strange. Why are they asking that? And I had a gun in a briefcase. So I opened the briefcase, took out the gun, I said, guards, it's a hold-up. And I was with another fella, and half pissed. And there was a mirror. And I said, we better watch it, there's two guys looking at us. But I went into Mountjoy. And I had a special suit and all for that sort of stuff. So there was all these strange little things.
You can be my drummer, okay, man? Hey, you want to be my drummer again, Jimmy? Hey, we'll look for a good bass player, okay?
Yeah, we have to get a
We'll
good
do
one.
that again in Afghanistan, okay? I've been a gypsy boy and a vagabond. I knew a mama's son down in old Saigon. She said, you number one, won't you drink with me? I laid $1 down for a 33. I was a legionnaire, got the scars to show when Indochina called. I just had to go, got me a wounded heart and a fever high. It nearly brought me down, but I did not die. Moving with the flow, I had to find a way to go to Indochina.
was in